I tried to watch SmackDown Live with a new set of eyes tonight. A new set of eyes. I know that I've been negative the last couple of weeks, and it's been very apparent that I've been negative. But rightfully so. I don't come on here and complain just because it gets me views, or I don't come on here and bitch and moan because it's a gimmick. I genuinely care about the company. I care about the direction the company is going in. I want to be excited about what happens on Monday and Tuesday nights. We watch NXT on Wednesdays. You rarely ever see me get animated the way I do during NXT like I do with Raw and SmackDown. I tried to watch with a new set of eyes, and it was really the same old garbage that we see every single week. The show felt like it was flowing nicely, and then one after the other, we just started to see illogical booking and bad creative decisions ruin what I wanted to be a decent SmackDown Live. I can't sit here and tell you it was a good show, folks. I can't. I just can't. There's something wrong with these shows. You can tell it was a Vince McMahon show. In no way was Eric Bischoff a part of this show. No way. Absolutely no way. I know change is not going to happen overnight, but I'm going to say it again. Once those two names were announced and affiliated with Raw and SmackDown, that is all you are going to know. That is all you're going to care about. It's not Vince McMahon in the eyes of the public anymore, because the public audience is so stupid that they can't decipher what is really going on and what is not. Those names are now attached to those shows, and all of our anger and all of our frustration is going to be aimed towards them. The wild card rule needs to go away. This thing needs to be abolished 100%. Just like we got on Monday Night Raw, which I still don't understand, that women's number one contender match for Becky Lynch's Raw Women's title, to crown a number one contender for that specific championship at SummerSlam, that fatal four-way with Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Carmella, and Natalya went 25 minutes. Drew McIntyre and Cedric Alexander got 3 minutes. Samoa Joe and Finn Balor got 3 minutes, barely. And I ask why? Who made that decision? Who thought that was a good decision? Now we got everything that's happening on Monday Night Raw coming over to SmackDown Live. You're pushing all the SmackDown Live talent that we should be seeing on this show, like a Nakamura, like a Mustafa Ali, like a Buddy Murphy, Andrade, Cien Almas, etc., etc. Even though we did see Almas, even though we seen Nakamura, even though we seen Ali and Buddy Murphy, surprisingly, he is still alive and still employed, apparently. We even seen AOP tonight, which is amazing. Unceremoniously, but we seen AOP. The wild card rule needs to be abolished. You're taking everything from Monday Night Raw, putting it on SmackDown Live, and you're dirtying this show. When this show should be separate, this show should have its own identity, this show should have its own roster. Again tonight, we got 3 matches. A tag team championship match with the Moronics, which I still don't understand how anybody could be a fan of them. They are miserable. Absolutely miserable. One of the worst decisions of all time to put those titles on those two women. They may be 2 of the worst wrestlers in the entire world, never mind the company. But that tag team title match, which featured Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors. How long did that go? 2 minutes? Barely? Then we got Andrade and Apollo Crews. How long did that go? A minute? Minute and a half? And then we got Charlotte and Liv Morgan, who surprisingly made her first appearance on this show since WrestleMania. Since the Superstar Shakeup. How long did that go? 2 minutes? Folks, we barely got 6 minutes between 3 matches. Charlotte match, an Andrade match, and a championship match. Barely 6 minutes total between 3 matches. All because Shane McMahon had to get another 4 segments on this show tonight. And WWE had to give us their version of, who's coming out next and who's getting an undeserved championship match next for the WWE title. And that led to a generic 6-man tag. This show has so much going on, and everything that should be SmackDown Live is being pushed down further and further and further. And it's ruining not only the talent, it's making the talent look bad. You're presenting a wrestling show with 1-minute matches. 1-minute matches. How can anyone stand behind that? I can't do it. It's not the way I would book shows. I don't know what they were thinking with this show. Here we got SummerSlam plans formulated. They're coming along. But at the end of the day, who legitimately cares? How are we getting there? It's as if already this is week 1 of 4 for SummerSlam build. And WWE is simply piecing things together for the sake of just getting a card ready because so much is going on. So much is going on. It is inexcusable. The stuff that we're seeing on these shows is inexcusable. They have to do better. This is why I complain every single week. I want logic. I want a show that flows and is not chaotic. Have you ever watched NXT and felt like something didn't belong? They make use of everything. Everything that they put on that show is done for a specific reason. I can't say the same about Monday and Tuesday nights. They just want to push their narrative. They want to push who they want to push. And still, the wild card rule, since its inception, is ruining both of these shows. I hope to God that when Paul Heyman, which we know he's already in control because he mentioned it blatantly on Monday Night Raw in the opening segment of last night's show. I read that Bischoff wasn't backstage at SmackDown Live, rather. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, it's all the same. There's no difference. I can't tell the difference. Remember that. I heard and read that Eric Bischoff wasn't backstage at SmackDown Live. And rightfully so. He completely rerouted his family from Montana to move to Stamford, Connecticut. I think that's going to be a little bit more than a 2-week process. So they're probably giving him enough personal time. And maybe, just maybe, we're not really going to see anything happen until after SummerSlam. Which would actually make a lot more sense because why would you have these guys legitimately go full 100% after Extreme Rules? SummerSlam is pretty much the end of the summer for WWE. I said that a hard reset needs to happen. Brand split needs to be 100%. You cannot continue to make television the way you're doing it right now. It is absolutely ruining every aspect of this show. The wild card rule needs to die. And I think you all are in agreement with that. I want wrestling on my shows. A couple backstage segments, logic. I want continuity. I don't want 1-minute matches with Charlotte Flair. I don't want 1-minute matches with Andrade Cien Almas. It's not fair. I want Buddy Murphy to actually wrestle. I want to see more of Mustafa Ali that is not a backstage segment. I want to see AOP be built up. What happened to Daniel Bryan's announcement? A career-altering announcement. Clickbait. They all knew that we care about Daniel Bryan, whether he's a babyface or a heel. And they pulled on our heartstrings for whatever reason. They made it sound dire. Like it was the worst decision or the worst announcement of all time. A career-altering decision made by Daniel Bryan tonight. What does that mean? Anything that is career-altering or career-threatening with Daniel Bryan has our immediate attention because he's beloved. We got nothing. Dolph Ziggler was in the main event of SmackDown Live again. Aleister Black and Cesaro again on SmackDown Live. I'm not surprised by that because WWE, they figure out that the fans like something. Well, they like it. Let's do it again and again and again. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to watch these shows with a fresh set of eyes, but I can't help the fact that I am one who dissects the show because it's not being booked right. And you could say, oh, it's not being booked for people like you. It's being booked for the little kids in the audience, and it's not your type of audience anymore. It's BS. It's nonsense. It's a wrestling program. You're putting a man versus another man, a woman versus another woman in a competitive atmosphere. There's a competitive aspect to these shows that WWE is not really abiding by. They just go and do what they want with no rhyme or reason, and it doesn't make any sense. And then you expect me not to call out their mistakes? You expect me not to complain, just enjoy the show for what it is? How can I enjoy the show if it makes no sense? How can I enjoy the show if it makes no sense? SmackDown, just like Raw, made no sense. Those are my opening 2 cents. The wild card rule needs to die. It really does. The only positive on this show tonight was that we didn't get a 2 out of 3 falls match. And that's not saying a lot. SmackDown Live, thank you guys so very much for joining me here on the podcast. Again, I want to formally apologize for everybody that might have been turned off by my negativity. I received a couple of emails today that really kind of made me just sit here in the office and think, maybe I have been too negative. I want to make a good stance here tonight, and I want to go about things by still being me, of course. I'm not changing. But I want to give you guys logic. I want to present why what you watched tonight didn't make sense, and I want to present, in a way, how we could fix that and where WWE should go with it. That's what I want to do. So tonight, I think that's what I'm going to do. I've been doing that, but I've just been overly negative, and I know I've been negative. The month of July has been bad. The month of July for me, not only personally, but, I'm just stressed out. Everything about July is just stressing me the hell out. And I want to start just kind of moving in a different direction. So we're going to go over SmackDown Live tonight. Wasn't a good show. And I'm going to tell you guys what exactly was wrong and why it was wrong and where WWE should have went with this. And why I didn't like something. There were some things on this show that I did like, mainly Bayley and Ember Moon was announced for SummerSlam and the SmackDown Live Women's title. So I'm glad that somebody out there was listening to me, whether it was somebody in WWE or if this was the plan all along, I doubt it. But I'm glad that we're finally getting a match that we've been pitching for weeks on this show. So we're going to go over everything tonight right here on the podcast, man. If you missed anything that I uploaded during the weekend, make sure you guys go and check all that stuff out. We got Extreme Rules on Sunday. Great pay-per-view. Thank you guys so... Not a great pay-per-view in itself. Great pay-per-view podcast. But thank you guys so very much for showing up to that. Almost 40,000 views. Over 2,000 likes. You guys kick ass. Thank you so very much. If you missed that, go and check it out. I did cover the Evolve show. I did cover the Evolve 131 show. That is on the channel. We did that Sunday morning. Go and check that out. Monday Night Raw, Bray Wyatt returned. Make sure you guys go check my thoughts on that. I loved it. Didn't really like it when I first seen it, but it does make sense with everything that's going on. I love the debut. He looks fantastic. We talk about that on the Raw podcast. Go and check that out. Also, I seen some people tweet at me this afternoon that they want me to cover Impact Wrestling a little bit more. Well, guys, I did cover Slammiversary, and that is about all I will do as far as Impact goes. But I did cover Impact Wrestling, Slammiversary, from the prior weekend. Go and check that out as well. Everything you need is on the channel. You guys can navigate for yourself. If you guys want to see these 3 particular videos, top right corner, that little eye, click it, drop it down. Everything you need is going to be right there. Make sure you guys go and check me out on social media. At JD from NY206 on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. You guys on Patreon will get this in audio form. Thank you so very much. I love each and every one of you, and thank you all for your support. And if you guys want to join the channel here on YouTube, you guys can certainly do that as well. It's going to be right next to the subscribe button. Go and click that. You guys get off the script early every single weekend, and you guys get access to my off the script Discord make sure you guys do that if you guys want to support the podcast here on Off the Script. Podcast tonight is brought to you by Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. If you guys like something for free, Audible is for you. They've been with me for over 3 years. They are great friends of the show. And if you guys use our unique link, audibletrial.com/offthescript, you guys are going to get 30 days free of Audible service. And as a thank you for signing up, Audible is going to give you 1 free audiobook of your choice, no matter what it is. You guys have over 200,000 choices to choose from. You will not be billed during this sign-up. You guys can browse it for free for 30 days, 1 free audiobook. And the best part of it all is if you guys feel like Audible's not for you, you want to sign up simply to support the podcast, you guys can cancel anytime in that 30 days and still get to keep your audiobook for free. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/offthescript. Use Audible and get yourself a free audiobook today, courtesy of the podcast. SmackDown Live opens up with, guess who? Everybody's favorite WWE performer, Shane McMahon. Said nobody ever, by the way. Shane McMahon opened SmackDown Live, and we see a pre-taped segment that happened earlier in the day. Shane McMahon greets Kevin Owens as Kevin Owens is making his way into the arena. And Kevin Owens is there for work. Showing up for work early. He's getting ready. Kevin Owens arrived to the arena, and he told Shane did, he told security they know what to do if things get out of hand. Kevin Owens walked in with his suitcase. Shane said he heard him last week, loud and clear. I think we all did. WWE made it known that they know what the problem is to these shows, but they will do nothing to fix those problems. So it's mockery in plain sight, of course, by WWE, something that they love to do anytime they have the opportunity to do so. So Shane said he heard him last week, so he decided to have an open forum here this evening on SmackDown Live, Shane McMahon's town hall meeting. So he said he won't accept insubordination. Kevin Owens says he works for WWE and not Shane McMahon. Shane says WWE is owned and controlled by the McMahon family. Gotta get that in there too, just in case he didn't know. He told him he's no longer allowed in the building. Kevin Owens was escorted out, and he did not look all too pleased that he was being kicked out of SmackDown Live yet again. Was he going to stay kicked out? I doubt it. And I doubted it. Everybody doubted it. He is the quote-unquote new Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you want to even make a comparison like that. Which I will not, because nobody could be Stone Cold Steve Austin, and anybody that tries to doesn't even come anywhere close. WWE is simply living the gimmick here with Kevin Owens. Fight Owens, fight. He's a rebel. He wants to fight. He wants to stand up for what's right. He wants to be a babyface. Great. I've been enjoying it so far, but I don't know how much of it I am going to enjoy, being that Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon at SummerSlam is all but inevitable. And again, I still don't understand why Kevin Owens would come out on SmackDown Live and then again at Extreme Rules after he beat Dolph Ziggler in 15 seconds. That's Shane McMahon is getting too much TV time. They even replayed it in the beginning of this show. They went over all the names that Kevin Owens mentioned that are not getting television time. So why is Kevin Owens going to proclaim that Shane McMahon has been greedy with power? He's gotten so much television time. He's taken TV time away from legit people who should be on TV. And then proceed to book him in a match with Kevin Owens. Unless it means, like I mentioned on the Extreme Rules podcast, unless it means that if Kevin Owens wins, Shane is no longer allowed on television, then I don't know what the point of all of this is. So I'm not all that excited about it to begin with. And I don't know if you guys remember, this is a rehashed storyline. Just the roles are reversed. The last time these two went at it, Shane was a babyface and Kevin Owens was a heel. Now Kevin Owens is the babyface and Shane McMahon is the heel that we all legitimately want to see go away. I don't like it. So Shane was in the ring. He stood in the ring with a microphone. Clearly, his music had to be played. He had to get his grandiose introduction. Greg Hamilton has a set of pipes on him. Let me tell you, much better than Mike Rome. But they showed the SmackDown Live roster lined up on stage. Everybody that was Monday Night Raw superstars thrown in there. So they threw a video recap of Roman Reigns and The Undertaker for whatever reason. I guess because Shane McMahon was a part of that match. Shane said Owens has the night off and he isn't allowed in the building. But he gave him an idea for the first ever live SmackDown Town Hall meeting. He said as long as they are respectful, he will listen to what they have to say. So he let it be known right then and there, if you get out of line, you're done. You're done. So Reigns stepped up first after Shane asked, well, who's going to go first? As if it's a classroom setting and the teacher asks a question, and nobody wants to raise their hand. So he didn't really pick anybody, but Reigns stood up. He walked up to the microphone and he said that Shane doesn't get it because nobody in the room respects him. He said, as far as diplomacy goes, you can kiss my ass. And then he walked away. Shane, which I thought was kind of funny, Roman walked away. Shane said, that wasn't respectful. Don't worry, I'll take care of you later. You got a fine coming your way. That's because Shane McMahon could do whatever he wants. I'm not sure if you guys know the McMahon family runs this show. So, Shane called out Charlotte. Now, Roman Reigns steps up to the plate, number one. Charlotte steps up to the plate, number two. These are people who don't have anything to do with the overall story arc here. Like, what does Charlotte Flair have to complain about? What does Charlotte Flair have to complain about, really? Charlotte Flair, she could breathe. And the WWE creative writers know that means, we got to book her in a title match. That's all she has to say. Or do, rather. She doesn't have to say anything. She said something here, but it really didn't matter what she said here. It made no sense. So Charlotte was called out by Shane. She stepped up and said what Reigns said was very uncalled for. That was uncalled for, Mr. Reigns! In her android-like voice. So Charlotte said that was uncalled for. She said, from one family to another, I want to thank the McMahon family because they give me everything that I ask for. Thank you for the graciousness of the McMahon family. They've taken care of me since I was born. Whatever. Whatever, man. What does Charlotte Flair have to complain about here? Exactly. She said exactly what I expected her to say. She has absolutely nothing to complain about. She's sitting on her throne that Bayley should be sitting on, but Charlotte still occupies it. And then when they are ready for Charlotte, oh, Queen, you now have your title match. Thank you, servant. That's how I envision it backstage in WWE Creative. Charlotte sitting on a throne with her legs crossed in that big robe of hers. She's just waiting. She's just waiting. Send me the slaves. Send me the peasants. I would like a nice seltzer with 3 limes, please. Just sitting around waiting. Anyway, enough of the BS here. Charlotte says that, the McMahon family is taking care of her and has taken care of her since she was born. Liv Morgan, of all people, steps up to the plate next and asked Charlotte if there was anything real about her. Maybe the new ionized battery that Charlotte has, which seems to be completely recharged. I heard it has a 4-year life cycle. It's pretty good. Hopefully we don't see another 16 title reigns in that 4-year life cycle, but, stranger things have happened. She made fun, Charlotte, of Liv Morgan's blue tongue and asked if she even works here. So, you're making fun of somebody like Liv Morgan for not being on television. How much of that was a direct shot at Liv Morgan? Somebody in the back must not like Liv Morgan whatsoever. being that she hasn't been booked on television in, 13 weeks? Holy shit. So she made fun of her blue tongue. Liv said people like Charlotte don't let people like her get fair opportunities. And then Shane McMahon's like, enough of this. Liv, thank you. And he shooed her away. Just when things were getting good. Liv Morgan was one of the people I actually wanted to hear from. And she didn't get an opportunity outside that. Shane was like, nah, next. Shane asked, who else did Kevin Owens talk about? Buddy Murphy. He mentioned you. He called him WWE's best kept secret, which he really is. If you really want to think about it, he hasn't been on TV, hasn't been in a wrestling match. How do you know what he could do? I know what he could do. Murphy says he doesn't need Kevin Owens to fight his battles. He said he might slap the words out of Kevin Owens' mouth. Shane said they talk about it later. Apollo Crews then stepped up and said he hopes what he has to say falls under the category of healthy dialogue. Said everyone agrees with what Kevin Owens said the other week. Zelina Vega then interrupted and says she and Andrade don't appreciate Crews trying to kiss up to the WWE Universe. And then Andrade started to yell at Crews in Spanish. Elias then came out and strummed his electric guitar. He said, as the greatest acquisition in SmackDown history, cut off by Big E. He was cut off by Big E and said he's actually the greatest jackass in SmackDown Live history. Kofi Kingston says they don't like Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens did have a point. He said it took too long for him to get a shot at the WWE title. He said everyone on the stage has potential to do great things, but he's not giving anyone opportunities, Kofi, to Shane McMahon. What's up with that, Shane? He asked. Then Shane McMahon, you see, clear as day on camera, cut his mic, and then they actually cut his mic. Shane said this town hall meeting was a good first start and thanked all the wrestlers for participating, but this town hall meeting has now concluded. His music played, and it was a complete waste of time. There was one wrestler that stood back, and while everybody else was going to the back, one wrestler remained, and that was Cesaro. Cesaro stepped up to the microphone and said he had something to say to Shane McMahon. Shane says he's a Raw superstar. Why does that matter now? Do you see what I get at, folks? It's like WWE is being blatant and treating you like a moron. They're treating you like an idiot. When does it matter that someone's a Raw superstar or a SmackDown superstar? I don't even know who's on which brand anymore. One week you have 13 SmackDown guys on Monday Night Raw. The next week you got 7 Monday Night Raw stars on SmackDown Live. The amount of superstars was originally 4. They've blown that completely wide open to a point where nobody matters. Nothing matters on this show. But now, Cesaro is a Raw superstar. How can I help you, Raw superstar? Are you kidding me? So he said he's the wild card tonight. It's on SmackDown Live to challenge someone who is a SmackDown superstar. He challenged Aleister Black to pick a fight with him. I don't know why they say it like that, but whatever. Shane asked if he wants that tonight. Cesaro said tonight. And Shane gave it to him. Shane began talking about how that showed he doesn't have to rule with an iron fist. Kevin Owens came out of the crowd. He was wearing a WWE crew shirt, and he stunned Shane McMahon. A botched stunner. I thought that Shane actually was kicked in the balls because he took it so poorly, and then WWE, clearly, because you had to have, I can't have my work looking like crap on TV, man. You know? Kevin Dunn had to work his magic immediately with that botch. Every replay that they showed, and they showed it like 5 different times tonight, every replay showed the replay of the stunner without the botch. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if Shane just took it wrong or he really did get kicked below the belt. It looked like he really got kicked stiff and he kind of backed away and Kevin Owens gave him a half-ass stunner. Either way, Kevin Owens came out in a crew shirt, gave him a stunner at the end of this segment, and then ran back into the crowd. This town hall meeting was a complete waste of time. Nothing was accomplished here. Instead of giving those superstars a microphone and a legitimate gripe with Shane McMahon, this entire segment was hyped up as all of the superstars who wanted to speak out about their lack of opportunity never came. This segment was merely used to set up the entire show. Andrade and Apollo, Charlotte and Liv Morgan. That's all it was used for. That's all it was used. And then Cesaro, of course, with Aleister Black. Being that Cesaro was the last man standing there when everybody had left the town hall meeting. This did nothing but set up the show in what should have been something really cool and progress the storyline in a realistic way. It was typical WWE garbage that only did WWE-like garbage. Segment sets up the rest of the show, and that's all it was. Nothing of importance came out of this thing. Nothing. And I sat there kind of disappointed. Now, you know what I would really like? A town hall meeting with fucking podcasters. That's what I would like. That's what I would really like. Imagine that. A town hall meeting with everybody in the community. I'd be leading that, and I would not let anybody go without knowing my legitimate gripes. That'd be really fun. This was awful, folks. I don't know what they wanted to accomplish with this, but it was very disappointing. Aleister Black versus Cesaro, of course. I mentioned this on Sunday when I did the Extreme Rules podcast. I doubt this is going to be the last time we see it, and of course, we see it right on Tuesday. Right on Tuesday. And they went and had a decent match. It was fun for what it was, in between the 4 minutes of commercials and the 3 minutes of wrestling that we got. It was fun, but what we got at the pay-per-view was a lot better. This is WWE, and I mean this wholeheartedly. When they catch on to something, and they know the fans like something, they're going to continue doing it until you are sick and tired of it. What happened with Rey Mysterio and Andrade? Remember that earlier this year? They had one match, and then we see it 3 other times on SmackDown Live after that. Whether it was one-on-one or it was both of them in a tag team situation going against each other with different partners. WWE clings on to something the fans like on social media. They've probably seen all the social media reactions to it. Oh, it was a great match. A lot of people were saying that it was your favorite match of the night. I would rank it at number 2. Obviously, WWE seen that. They heard the reaction. So, of course, in typical WWE fashion, they got to take something and beat you over the head with it until you are sick and tired of it. Aleister Black has now won twice with the Black Mass. I don't see him losing for a very long time. Cesaro's already lost twice. I think that's enough. Let's move Aleister Black on to something a little bit more important going into SummerSlam, because if you really want to make the SummerSlam card great, then Aleister Black should definitely be a part of that. That's all I'm saying. Black Mass, best part of the match is when Cesaro's mouthpiece flew out of his mouth with the connection of the Black Mass, and that was it. The pay-per-view match was so much better. Enough is enough. We've seen it twice. That's all I need to see. Dolph Ziggler was there. I don't know why. This guy is a charisma vacuum, folks. Dolph Ziggler's like that fee-fi-fo-fum giant who's hovering above the arena. He literally sucks out all the energy from this show. That's how bad Dolph Ziggler is right now. I don't think anybody legitimately cares about anything with Dolph Ziggler's name attached to it. He was there. He told Shane that he'd like to teach KO a lesson. Shane said Kevin Owens is long gone. He's not allowed in the building. Ziggler says he has to pull some strings, but he wants to get Kevin Owens back here, and he wants it to be the main event of the show. So what Dolph Ziggler is saying is, I want people to change the channel when 9:45 rolls around tonight. That's what he said. That's what was coded in what Dolph Ziggler said. I don't understand who would watch this knowing that is the main event of this show. Awful. Absolutely awful. We got Charlotte. Charlotte. She's back, folks. She's back. Your queen is back. Looks great, but she went one-on-one with Liv Morgan. Now, I don't know how much investment WWE has in Liv Morgan. I hope that they have some plans for her. She is a blonde. Underneath that pink hair, she is a blonde. A cute one at that. So, I don't know why WWE wouldn't even tease the opportunity to push yet another blonde. But Liv Morgan Somebody clearly forgot to tell her that the Riot Squad has broken up. Sarah Logan, the same thing. She came out with the Riot Squad, or Ruby Riot's theme song, which means that WWE has had absolutely no sit-downs about where to go, direction-wise, with Liv Morgan. Poor Liv Morgan, poor Sarah Logan, they're still coming out. Sarah Logan came out dressed as a Viking, with a leather skirt, well, not leather, but that feathery skirt, made of whatever, a bear or whatever the Vikings hunt, right? She looked like a Viking. She had the markings on her face. She came out as a Viking with the Riot Squad theme music. They're both on separate shows. Not like that really matters, but they're both on separate shows. The only time we've seen Sarah Logan was on Monday Night Raw. Liv Morgan tonight came out with the same Riot Squad theme music. Can we get this woman new theme music, please? Or is WWE that lazy, and is WWE that, I guess, careless with someone like Liv Morgan? She's not that important, so whatever. Whatever theme music will suffice on this evening. This match went 2 minutes, folks. 2 minutes. Charlotte dominated early on. She was throwing her weight around, her size. Liv Morgan got a nice head scissor, a nice drop kick. She got some offense in, but eventually succumbed to the figure eight. And Charlotte tapped out Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan got on the microphone. Actually, not the microphone, but she went over to Corey Graves and took his headset and yelled into the headset, "Charlotte was right, and when I come back, I'm going to be real." Whatever that means. The last line there is the most telling one. I'm going to be real. What does that mean? Are you shedding the pink hair? Are you going blonde? Do you realize the formula for a woman on WWE TV is to be blonde? The more blonde you are, the more success you will have. Just look at Alexa Bliss. No talent whatsoever. Pushed to 6 title reigns. Maybe that's the formula. Maybe that's what Liv Morgan is talking about. But I'm telling you this, and I said it on Twitter. With what we've seen from Liv Morgan here tonight, clearly Charlotte was going to dominate and win this match. It's Charlotte Flair. But from the little bursts of offense here from Liv Morgan, I want to see more. I have been very hard on her in the past, and I think absence here has made the heart grow fonder. I would love to see, just out of sheer curiosity, because she's been away for so long, I'd love to see what she has accumulated in these 13 weeks. I'd love to see what she could do against one of the elite in WWE. I honestly think WWE should give her some time and push her to show us what she does really have. Because there's a lot of talented women on this roster that are not receiving an opportunity. And it was great to see someone different, but in a span of 2 minutes, you're not really going to make much of what you want in 2 minutes. So that was the only disappointing thing in this entire match with Charlotte Flair. Now, what she said on the microphone, it could lead to a new possible character change. She could be going under a work in progress type of thing. Maybe they are really going to reboot Liv Morgan. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but I'd like to see more of Liv Morgan, and I'd like to see what she can do out of sheer curiosity, being that she's been away for so long. It's about time we start to get new blood and some new faces on these shows to see what they're made of. And if they don't swim, then we move on to the next. But everybody has to get an opportunity. It's not fair. And these shows could desperately use a facelift. Ember Moon was shown backstage. We got a tag team match with her coming up. Vignette aired with Seth Rollins saying he's always wanted to be a WWE superstar as long as he remembers, if I can, you can too. Now, I don't want to be a WWE superstar because if I'm there, then I'd be booked illogically. Why would anybody want to be a WWE superstar when they got AEW happening in Jacksonville? Keep that in mind, folks. The world does not need, or if you're a pro wrestler, you don't need WWE. You're not going to hear this from Seth Rollins and then automatically become the next Seth Rollins. No. Doesn't work that way. You go make a name for yourself somewhere else, and then you have WWE come knocking on your door. You don't need to be a WWE superstar. There's more opportunities out there for you besides WWE. Don't listen to this clown, who is no longer the champion, by the way, who they took the title off on Sunday only to book a rematch at SummerSlam. I don't get it. I'll complain about that on Friday. Speaking of Ember Moon, remember that match she was going to have? It happened. Ember Moon and her partner, Bayley. I thought that maybe whatever was going to happen here, being that she chose Bayley of all people, there really wasn't anybody else for her to choose, that this would lead to a possible match at SummerSlam. This match went 2 minutes, folks. Another one of these 2-minute matches. It seems like they got the stopwatch on these women. Yeah, you guys go out there and you do 2 minutes. It's kind of sad. Ember Moon and Bayley versus Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. How the petal has fallen off the rose, per se, with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. They were being pushed, and then all of a sudden, dead. Ember Moon and Bayley win. Bayley to belly, and then that was on Sonya, and then Ember Moon up top with a beautiful eclipse on Rose, and that was it. Ember Moon pins Rose. Post-match, Kayla Braxton interviewed Bayley and Ember Moon afterward. She asked Bayley who her next opponent will be at SummerSlam. She said she's glad her issue, I love this. She said she's glad that her issue with Bliss is in the past, and now she can finally elevate the women's division. I love those cheap shots at Alexa. She deserves every bit of it, folks. Man, you don't want to get into it with Alexa Bliss fanboys and superfans on Twitter. Man, I posted something yesterday which got nearly 1,000 likes because you know it's true. I'm surprised she hasn't blocked me yet. But, man, the amount of sheer stupidity. If you want to lose brain cells, go and look at that thread where she said, disrespectful. Go ahead. Go look at it, see my comment, and then look at the thread in my comment. My God, you are going to go brain dead by the end of the night. I guarantee you. I love it. She deserves every bit of it after Monday's Raw. I'm going to say it once, and I'm going to forever say it. Alexa Bliss cannot elevate anyone she's in the ring with. She's not a good wrestler. She sucks. And anybody that she's in the ring with, she does not make anybody better. I want you all to think seriously. And it's not about what she does in the ring. Then what is she doing in a wrestling ring then? Why is she there? Oh, she's playing a good heel. This is the amount of stupidity that I encountered, folks. People were telling me that the reason why Alexa Bliss doesn't do many moves in the ring is because it fits her character. Oh, I'm sorry. Tommaso Ciampa is, or was, the best heel in all of WWE. Did you see the moveset that man possesses? Well, because he's a good heel, that doesn't mean he doesn't have to have a fucking wrestling move, according to these fucking people. Are you kidding me? Then I heard, the dumbest thing I think I heard all day was, why don't you think Brock Lesnar has any wrestling moves? Because he can't wrestle. That's what I heard. Yes, I'd love to ask his NCAA World Championships that same question. Please elaborate. Unbelievable, folks. Alexa Bliss can't wrestle. Get it through your heads. She got 6 undeserved title reigns, and she continues to get pushed every single week. If she doesn't get a SummerSlam card, I, for one, would be incredibly pleased. She doesn't belong on the pay-per-view, period. Done. Pre-show for Alexa from here on out. If that. That's the only thing she deserves. Kayla Braxton said to Bayley, who's next? She says she wants to face someone who is worthy of a title opportunity, someone with charisma, someone she's never faced before, and someone who is dedicated to the championship. And Bayley paused and looked over at Ember. Ember then said, hell yeah. That's it. That's it. Bayley said, what do you say? Ember said, hell yeah. Good to go, folks. We got a women's championship match at SummerSlam. Now, granted, I am excited about this, but I, for one, would have loved if Ember Moon was showcased a little bit better in previous weeks. I would have loved if Ember Moon got some wins underneath her belt in the coming weeks. I guess she kind of did. I mean, who's Mandy Rose, though? Who's Sonya Deville? I mean, she might have gotten a win here and a win there, but what win has she garnered that really mattered? You know what I'm saying? I want WWE to take this seriously, and the fact that they really didn't do anything with Ember Moon, and they're merely putting her in a championship match at SummerSlam, I feel like they're doing it because there is nobody else. Honestly, I feel like they're doing it because if they went with Charlotte, then I think it would be met with backlash. I feel like they're going with Ember because they have to. They're going with Ember because there is nobody else on the roster that would make sense in that spot. Everybody else has had a championship opportunity. Those that matter anyway. But I feel like they're doing it just because. And when WWE does something just because, same thing with Samoa Joe. They merely put Samoa Joe in that WWE title match at Extreme Rules with Kofi Kingston because it's Samoa Joe merely becoming a bridge for Kofi to get to SummerSlam. Ember Moon is Bayley's bridge to get to Charlotte. Or better yet, I would say, how long does it take before WWE realizes that this is not really the match that they want? The fans really like it, so now WWE has to inject their flavor into it. How long before Charlotte gets added to this thing to make it a triple threat? You know what I'm saying? I love this. But I just wish WWE had given Ember Moon some momentum going, real momentum, some wins going into this. Because right now it just feels like WWE is putting it together simply out of boredom. And the fact that there is nobody else. Ember Moon merely is a bridge for Bayley to get to Charlotte. That's it. Or Charlotte to get to Bayley. Either way. So I don't like it. I feel like Ember Moon is just going to SummerSlam to lose, and that's it. Now, if you give these women 20 minutes, the last time Ember Moon was a part of a SummerSlam weekend was back during TakeOver against Asuka. Remember that? On some levels, that match rivaled Bayley and Sasha at the first TakeOver. Obviously, it's a subjective thing. On any given day, you could choose which one you want. I wouldn't blame you. They're both equally amazing. Some instances, I took Sasha and Bayley. Some instances, I took Ember Moon and Asuka. That was a great match. That was the best women's match of that particular year. You give these two 20 minutes to replicate what Asuka and Ember did at TakeOver a couple of years ago, and this may be a show stealer. I want to be excited about it, but I can't fully be excited about it because I know what lies ahead for Ember, and I know the fact that WWE is booking Ember in this way, they don't really have any solid plans for her. I don't see WWE giving Ember the Smackdown title. I don't. If they had plans for her, plans would have been in motion for this, and Ember would have been treated a lot better in previous weeks than she has been. So I can't really fully invest myself in it. I'm excited for the short term because I want to see the women's division have a standout match at SummerSlam. After that, where do we go? Right back to Charlotte. It's inevitable, folks. It's going to happen. Shinsuke Nakamura was interviewed backstage, and I think it was Sarah Schreiber or Kayla Braxton. I don't know. Who cares? One of these ladies interviewed Nakamura and congratulated him on winning the Intercontinental title. Says he's now free to rain down KOs on the entire universe. Ali walked up to him, congratulated him, smirked, and walked away. That was pretty much it. Please take my money. I'd love to see Ali win a championship, and I'd like to see that match happen at SummerSlam if WWE books it correctly. Again, it's going to be something in the interim. I wish WWE had put Ali on television and at least given him a reason to eye that Intercontinental Championship. How could we sit here and say that Ali is deserving of an Intercontinental Championship when he's been photographed and videoed in dark alleys trying to fight crime in Gotham City? I don't know. I can't get behind it fully. I want to be invested in it because I love Ali. But I can't be fully invested in it because WWE has done Ali no favors and he hasn't even been on TV. So why am I, the viewer, going to believe in Ali getting an Intercontinental Championship match? Another match that WWE is building out of nothing, comes out of a cloud of smoke, and that's all it is. It's just something to put on the card for SummerSlam to have a match. And what's going to happen? Is the WWE going to put the IC title on the main card, or is it something that's going to go on the pre-show? I can't get excited about it the way I want because WWE doesn't want to get you excited. Do you see where I'm coming from? I don't want to complain, but everything that you need is right there. There is reason to complain by the way WWE executes things. You can't be fully excited even though you are getting what you want. You gotta ask the why. Why is this happening? Give me a reason. They haven't. So I have to call them out on that. New Day made their ring entrance with Big E doing his usual mic work. Kofi said that they don't have any more technical difficulties with the microphone, a.k.a. Shane McMahon. They asked the fans to give it up for them. Kofi said they are like 3 African-American leprechauns at the end of the rainbow with all the gold. Big E says they know all about what Bryan is up to. Says they don't want to hear a 10-minute lecture about recycling, fracking, and that ice cream licking epidemic. I didn't even know what was going on with that, to be honest with you. I haven't bought ice cream in weeks, knowing that someone potentially went into the freezer at the local supermarket, pulled the top off an ice cream, and licked it. I don't want to be a part of that, man. What is wrong with people? Honestly, where do they grow you people? I can't even fathom doing that in front of anybody, let alone to the recipient who has to buy that ice cream. Unreal. Anyway, good thing I don't eat ice cream. I eat low fat ice cream, just as tasty. Chili Cow. You guys gotta try Chili Cow ice cream, man. Really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. So we were talking about fracking and ice cream licking. They accept, apparently Bryan and Rowan issued a challenge to get a rematch. And Big E says, you're on. We got a tag team title match. Great. Great. That antiquated rule is out the window, by the way, right? No more rematches. Clearly, whatever they said then does not apply now, present day. Bryan and Rowan come out. Fans are chanting for the New Day. Samoa Joe then walks out and said that Kofi should take his henchman's lead and put his WWE title on the line. Now, you're probably asking, JD, what happened to Bryan? Didn't they announce a career-altering decision by Daniel Bryan? Yeah, they did. And they clickbaited you to watch the show based out of sheer curiosity, and they did not deliver. Typical WWE. Bryan walked out, he walked to the back. He walked out, he walked to the back. He walked out, and he walked to the back with a microphone in his hand. And all he did was sniffle into the microphone as if he has the flu. Nothing. That's all that happened. Now, I want to make a prediction here. I don't know what's going on with Daniel Bryan. Clearly, he's okay. He was in wrestling gear. He was ready to go. This is not anything career-threatening. WWE is possibly changing up the direction of Daniel Bryan. I don't know if he's going to be fighting for the world title. It doesn't seem like it after tonight. What if WWE takes Daniel Bryan and the career-altering decision is to put him on 205 Live? Now, I gave this some thought. What if he goes to 205 Live? WWE has reportedly been very low on 205 Live. It's not really trending in the top 10 on the network, most watched shows. It's not even breaking the top 10. Nobody gives a shit about it. What if they put Daniel Bryan on 205 Live and he competes on 205 Live to bring some notoriety to that show, to make the fans stick around after SmackDown Live to see Daniel Bryan? It's just an opinion. It's just one of those weird thoughts that I had. What if? Could be possible. I hope it's not. The other thing I thought of was, what is Roman Reigns doing at SummerSlam? I don't know. What if WWE books Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan? Could be possible. I don't want to see the match happen just because. I want it to have some meaning. But neither man seems to have anything to do at SummerSlam. What if? Those are my two shots. I don't know what else you guys got as far as Daniel Bryan goes, but he did not make a career-altering decision. Samoa Joe walked out, challenged Kofi to put his title on the line. Elias then walked out and said that he should be next, and he's primed and ready to take the title off of Kofi. You aren't even primed and ready to write a song, and here you are wanting a WWE title match. So clearly, folks, WWE is proving to you that the more you lose, the more opportunities you have coming your way. I don't get it. I really don't get it. What does Elias have to do with a WWE championship? The words WWE championship should not even be coming out of his mouth. Randy Orton then came out and then says he wants the WWE championship. He's ready to take the title back, and Kofi and that title are going to suffer with the most devastating letters in the WWE, and that is RKO. Elias suggested a 6-man tag. because they can't all have title matches tonight. The New Day conferenced. Then they said they accept. Orton says, nah, I'm good, and walks to the back. Kofi Kingston took the microphone and said, you think that with somebody with the nickname Viper, he'd be ready to strike at any given time, and it seems like the Viper has gone limp. Maybe he needs some Blue Chew. I don't know. You talk about Randy Orton, you give him something, he declines it, whatever, he walks away. Soon as your first comeback is something about his manhood or what he's packing down below, you got his attention, and he's going to want to give you an RKO for your troubles. Nothing really happened here, folks. It was a six-man tag that pretty much did one thing and one thing only. It set up and all but confirmed the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. Randy Orton RKOs Kofi Kingston and pins Kofi Kingston in this six-man tag. Orton, Joe, and Elias win. Orton with the RKO on Kofi. All but sets up that match at SummerSlam. And more than likely ends Kofi Kingston's reign as WWE Champion. Randy Orton, a notable name in WWE, a Hall of Famer, is going to be the WWE Champion going into SmackDown Live in October on Fox Sports. There you go. I don't like that Kofi had to take the pinfall. I don't like when champions are pinned on television in nothing matches like this. But WWE has no creativity when they have to book a championship match, so I expected nothing less than what we got here tonight. I guess WWE realized, well, we were booking everybody else to lose. Kofi's been booked strong, so we got to start giving him some losses. We got to start handing some losses out to Kofi. There you go. All but confirmed Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston is your WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. Randy Orton's going to be your champion on Fox in October. Carmella was looking for R-Truth. She heard him. Where was he? He was in a washing machine. Yes, folks, he was hiding inside of a washing machine. She asks what he was doing in there. He says, I'm hiding, and now I'm stuck. So she said, I have a great hiding spot for you. Let's try wearing a costume. She then says he should go to Comic-Con. Truth says, don't call him a con because he did his time and community service. Truth is hilarious. He is hilarious, honestly. God honest, he's hilarious. I just don't like this shit being on television. So he fell out of the dishwasher and he yelled man down and they scurried on down the hallway. Folks, did you realize that Kairi Sane and Asuka still have jobs with the WWE? I didn't. The Kabuki Warriors are still alive and employed. Tag team title match here. Women's tag team title match. 1 minute and 30 seconds. I don't know what I should say about this, but Asuka gave Billie Kay a knee. She rolled out of the ring. Asuka was then selling whatever the effects of a punch was, I guess, from Billie Kay. She was down on the ground holding her face. Billie Kay rolls to the outside. Peyton Royce is already on the outside. Referee starts his count. He gets up to a 5 and a 6. She gets up on the apron. She gives this weird look, contemplating something, thinking. Peyton Royce then pulls her down off the apron at an 8 count. Referee counts to a 9 and a 10. And the Iconics intentionally got themselves disqualified, or not disqualified, counted out. I'm sorry. Iconics got themselves counted out and retained the titles here against Asuka and Kairi Sane. The look on Kairi Sane's face is so depressing. It is honestly depressing, folks. That woman was pulled from NXT, was pulled from the likes of Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair and Io Shirai and Candice LeRae for this. Now, I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but Asuka was in the ring. This is a woman who should know a thing or two about championships and winning a championship. Just saying. Asuka is in the ring. She sees Billie Kay on the outside. In no way, shape, or form does Asuka have the sense of urgency in a title match, knowing the rules of a title match, the fundamentals of pro wrestling? Champion's advantage. You can't win the title on a countdown. So you figure that Asuka, the challenger, would have some sense of urgency and go to the outside and get Billie Kay, the legal woman in this thing, and roll her into the ring and deliver something to win the match. She does not. Asuka stands there like a dummy and watches Billie Kay intentionally count herself out to retain the title. Not only that, they didn't even get an entrance. The Kabuki Warriors. The best thing about them, or a big part of their act, is Asuka and Kairi Sane's entrance. They didn't get one. Because of time. Because you're infiltrating Raw on SmackDown Live and making no room for who should be on SmackDown Live. Asuka looked like a blithering fool. I don't understand who okayed this. Now, the only thing I could logically think of is WWE wanted to give this the time, 1 minute and 30 seconds, and book this thing the way that they did to simply get this match on SummerSlam. You know, it would mean a little bit more if the Kabuki Warriors were booked on SmackDown Live. The fact that you haven't booked them on SmackDown Live and then went to book this, it would have made a little bit more sense if they were booked on television. They were not. So what are you trying to prove here? The Iconics are running away from two people that haven't been on television. Yeah, you make Asuka look like an idiot. Man, I hate to see talent wasted. I hate to see talent wasted. I really do. This was so garbage. So garbage. And then what happens at SummerSlam? What happens? Are you gonna... I want to see you not book them on television next week to continue this lame garbage. Because if you did this tonight, they clearly have to have some sort of issue on television moving forward. I want to see them not book them on television. Go ahead. And then what happens when they eventually win the titles? What happens? Do you have anybody else lined up for them? Those titles should be... Oh, God, I don't... Those titles need to be abolished. They need to be abolished. They need to be thrown off the bridge. The same bridge that The Rock threw Austin's smoking skull belt off of. That title needs to be in the limo that blew up with Vince McMahon in it. Get rid of them. They are absolutely worthless. If you don't have any plans for those titles, get rid of them. There's not even a single team on this roster that looks believable in that division. You don't even have a division. You can't even book your singles division right. I said it once, said it then, I'm going to say it again. WWE does not care about tag team wrestling. They haven't gotten men's tag team wrestling right since the days of the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. They haven't. They haven't. They haven't gotten it right since then. So what makes you think the WWE, with all their failures in the men's division for the better part of a decade, plus that they were going to get the women's division right? Awful. The Iconics are garbage. I don't even know how... Why? Why do you guys like the... I'm seriously talking to those who like the... Why do you like the Iconics? They can't wrestle. They have terrible gimmicks. They're not good heels. They don't even have good mic work. What is so redeeming about them? Nothing. Honestly, nothing. Peyton peaked in NXT. Simple as that. And that's even stretching it. This is awful. Talk about awful. Andrade with Zelina Vega versus Apollo Crews. 2 minutes, folks. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Andrade loses here. Crews gets the double knees in the corner. Crews surprised him with a crucifix to follow up. That's it. That was it. Over. Why does Apollo Crews need to get a win here? And people were going back and forth with me on why this was a right decision. Apollo Crews is a loser. He hasn't been on TV. He's on TV and then he disappears for 3 weeks. Then he's on TV again and disappears for 2 weeks. Andrade's not built up to take losses like this. In everybody's eyes, Andrade is a loser. Apollo is a loser. Both of them are losers. Come on, man. Andrade, he's been on the roster for almost 2 years now. Just about 2 years. Why is this guy still in a program with Apollo Crews? Why is this guy not challenging for a U.S. title? Why is this guy not challenging for an IC title? How do you have a guy with the caliber of Andrade on your roster, and this is what you do with him? Again, it goes back to what I stated in the beginning. Look at the wildcard rule ruining this entire show, pushing a match with Andrade to 2 minutes. Charlotte, 2 minutes. A tag team title match to 1.5 minutes. Less than 6 minutes. For 3 matches. And Shane McMahon has 4 segments. 5 segments. I tried to look at it with a fresh set of eyes, like I said. And then you see, as the show goes on, they get worse and worse and worse the later the night goes. Awful. Apollo Crews is a loser. He's on NXT tomorrow against Kushida. Maybe I'll look at him differently then. He's not going to win. But maybe I'll look at him different then. But on the main roster, he's a loser. Andrade should not be losing to anybody. Awful. Main event, if you were still watching at this point, Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. Ziggler wins, I guess, via disqualification or count out. There was no winner here. Shane McMahon interfered off a stunner. So, we had Kevin Owens stunner Dolph Ziggler. He made the cover. Shane pulled him out of the ring. There was no decision, no announcement from Greg Hamilton. He gave Shane a stunner, botched that. Not only did he botch the first stunner on Shane, he botched the one with Ziggler. And then he botched a third one with Shane. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's not delivering it right or just Ziggler and Shane were completely off tonight. So he stunners Shane, and then he runs away. I don't remember Stone Cold Steve Austin ever running away from anybody. Here we have Kevin Owens running away like a coward from everybody that was out there with Shane McMahon. Drew McIntyre, AOP was out there, Buddy Murphy, Nakamura was out there. The B team was out there. Why? These are all the people that want Shane McMahon on television. You have to justify Shane McMahon being on television as being right by putting him with people who are backing him being on television? Everybody should be siding with Kevin Owens. Everyone. What a dumb show. Illogical booking. No matter how you watch it, you have to call them out on their bullshit. This was clearly a Vince McMahon show. This was clearly a Vince McMahon show, folks. There's no way Eric Bischoff was a part of this. I don't know when Eric Bischoff's going to be there. I don't know when, if at all, we're going to see change. But, you know, you can hear reports from Mike Johnson and fucking Ryan Satin and Dave Meltzer and Sean Ross. You can hear all these reports. None of them are physically there to see if they are there. All I know is Paul Heyman, he was there. He ran the show. He said it himself. I don't believe Bischoff was there. But like I said, I'm going to mention it until we physically see change. We're going to mention it. I'm going to make you sick of it. Those two guys were put in those positions in the public eye to take the heat off Vince McMahon. It's becoming clearer and clearer and clearer every single week. This show sucked. This show sucked. SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer, folks. Summer scam. The biggest fraud of the summer. And we're just trucking along here, and they're making this promotional material done by my boy Sal Rex. They're proving it to be right every single segment that we see on Monday and Tuesday night. And we got a Raw reunion next week. I want to see how much SummerSlam build is going to happen then. Awful. Hope you guys enjoyed this, man. Thank you so very much. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. And follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And make sure you guys go and check out all the other videos that you might have missed. Evolve, Extreme Rules, and Monday Night Raw from last night. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Get your 30 days and your free audiobook. Support the podcast. Support Audible right here on Off the Script. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Adam Cole and his Celebration Tour, baby. Continue. Title match tomorrow against I don't know who. And we got Apollo Crews versus Kushida. Should be a good one, folks. I'll see you for NXT tomorrow night. Till then, have a great night. Have a great Wednesday morning whenever you guys watch me. And I'll see you tonight for NXT. I'll talk to you later.